Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and welcome to this quote of the week video, which will touch base on the topic of planting a seed and confidently going about your way knowing that you planted the seed, right? How can you develop this knowingness that your imagination will bring your desired seed to pass, and not just constantly like looking, is the seed growing, and therefore messing it all up. So let's just dive right in, and I want to first of all read this quote by Neville Goddard to you, and then I want to explain it. So this is what Neville Goddard said. What you do in imagination is an instantaneous creative act. However, in this three-dimensional world, events appear in a time sequence. Therefore, it may take a short interval of time to realize in the outer world what you have just experienced in imagination. After you have performed this act in your imagination, open your eyes and go about your normal, natural affairs, confident that what you have done must come to fruition in your world. Make your inner conversations conform to your imaginal act. You have planted a seed, and you will soon see the harvest of that which you have sowed. This is really powerful. Okay, let us go into that. Now, the first thing is already key, right? What you do in imagination, this is what sometimes people forget, is that they think, okay, yeah, it's just fantasy, or I'm doing this to manipulate my world, to really get something from the future. They forget that everything is right here, right now, that there actually is no past, no future. But what they even more forget in that incident is that they think their imagination is not real. They think their imagination is fantasy and daydreaming and just a really nice, fun little tool that they can utilize to get something again out of life, out of their reality, without actually forgetting that when they imagine something, they dwell in reality. They dwell in the unseen reality. They dwell in a state that is currently invisible, and they make it live, and therefore it will be reflected back in what they think is reality, but which is actually the outside world, which is only and always confirming and mirroring what you have alive, like I always say, like Neville always said. Right, so this is key for you to understand, and what I want to remember you on is that when you imagine something, it is a creative act, right? It's like when you imagine, it is already done. You imagined, you just experienced it, you just witnessed the satisfaction, you just felt the relief, you just heard this congratulation, you just visualized that outcome. So where is it? Right, it's not only in your mind; it does exist as a potential, as a part of creation, a portion of creation, which is right now not experiential for your senses because they are only like tied to one snippet. But imaginatively, like a tuning fork, you tune into that parallel, already existing alternative version, possibility, outcome. And the more you do it, the more natural it will become. The more you place your awareness on that snippet of creation, the more that will be shown to you. You become conscious of something that is outside of your senses, right? And it is a creative act. It is an instantaneous fact. So it's done. When you imagine something, it is done. That's it. That is the real thing. You are just witnessing that real thing. Your imagination is real. So I have a video on how to imagine correctly. I will link this above right now. It's an older video, but I tried to condense everything that I learned from how to imagine correctly and how to notice that while you imagine, it is happening. You're becoming aware of an non-physical, right now taking place event. So it's a creative act. This is really important. And now is the interesting thing, is that in this three-dimensional world, right, which is not the enemy, this is just a world that we, like through the mind, how we perceive this life here in this three-dimensional world, events appear in a time sequence, meaning when I imagine right now that I'm standing on the beach, that I'm having this car, that I'm having the relationship, that I'm having the money, the business success, the health, I am instantly internally there. So this is why Neville said there is the inner man and the outer man. The outer you, being tied to the senses, can't be instantly on the beach, right? But the inner you, the imaginative you, in your internal world, you can instantly imagine that you're standing on the beach, that you're in your dream vacation, that you're in your friend's house, that you're meeting with this person, that you're having this experience, right? So it's internally, instantly happening. However, in this world, you will then go through a bridge. You will then go through a seemingly, time interval and a bridge of unfolding that will lead you there. But it actually is already there all the time. And as you stay loyal to it and faithful to it and remain in it and internally keep dwelling in it, you will be like dragged there. The state has all the means to like draw you to itself, right? To pull you to itself. So it's like the inner man stands here, and then outwardly you will be allowed to do boom, boom, boom. You will do this, 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 and that. And then eventually externally you will also end up where you already stand internally. So I can right now imagine that I'm in my dream vacation. Boom, I'm there. I feel myself into it. I feel the relief. And then I will maybe start to book it, or invite a friend, or go with my girlfriend and do this, this, and that. And then eventually I will be there. Right? But I first was there internally. So just don't be shocked when you notice that in the 3D world, things not always happen instantaneously. Right? Things in the 3D world are a little bit slower usually. I'm not saying that manifestations are always taking very long. That's not the case at all. I manifested a lot of things in a, really short amount of time, but that's irrelevant as long as you internally keep living in the wish fulfilled. You will no longer wait and hope and look for it anyways. But just know that the 3D world is a confirming mirror, and sometimes it's delayed. It has a delay in its mirror reflection. So don't push it, don't fight it. That's normal, right? So things take a short interval of time to realize in the outer world what you already experienced in imagination, right? And after you have performed this act, so you heard this congratulation, you felt something, you touched something, you saw something, you visualized something, then you come out of your imagination, and your senses, your world will try to persuade you and tell you that it is not there yet, that it is not achievable, that seemingly the opposite is there, or seemingly there's absolutely no movement. But if you would stand, in the knowingness that you just experienced, that it is already done, that it is already yours, then you would not fall for the trap of your senses, right? You would not let your senses dictate on how you should feel, on what you should believe to be true, because you can imaginatively at any given moment dwell in your desired end outcome. And then when you come out of that, let's say imaginal act, that imaginal scene, that imaginal activity, you open your eyes and seemingly nothing has changed. Everything is the same. But what you can notice if you have done it correctly is that first of all, your thoughts, on a really subtle level, you see your thoughts and your reactions and your general mood changes. You become more relaxed, more fulfilled. And if there is still the same circumstances, that starts to feel really unnatural because you internally already witnessed the end. You internally are already dwelling in that new state. So for the old circumstances, they will no longer seem like you. You will have already disidentified from them. And then you go about your normal, natural affairs. Right? It's not that you then try to do something specific. No, you normally go about your life. Right? Because manifestation is a really automatic process. It's not that you have to nitpick and force and really like try to change something. You realign yourself within in that new state and make that alive and make it natural, and then that state automatically expresses itself. Right? The state has all the means within itself to express itself. I have a video on this if this doesn't make sense to you yet. And also what you should know is this whole topic on taking action. Right? Taking action when you manifest. Should you take action? Because what you do learn, the deeper you go into the law, is that every action automatically comes from the state that you're in right now. When you know this, then you never have to ask yourself, which action should I take? Is this the right action? Is that the right action? No. You just go to the end and let that automatically like guide your actions. So check out the video I did called Should You Take Action When Manifesting? So you open your eyes, you go about your day, confident that what you've done must come to fruition in your world, right? Confident in knowing that it is yours. Confident in knowing that you just experienced it, that it is real, that this is who you are, that this is what you have, right? You keep this alive. And when you doubt again, you go back in the experience that implies that you have it, right? You realign yourself back into the state of the wish fulfilled. And then also, this is really helpful, right? If you make your inner conversations, how you speak to yourself, how you inwardly speak with other people, match your desired outcome. Right? You need to stay aware of that. It can't be the opposite. It can't be that you imagine this a little bit, but then you, for the rest of the day, you dwell on the opposite inner conversations all the time. That's not really like aiding your manifestation. That's just delaying it. That's just not helpful. So what you have done, right, with that, when you internally shift in that new state, externally you're standing here right now at your current circumstances, inwardly you planted that new seed in that end outcome, in that end state. It's literally like you've planted a seed, right? And you will soon see the harvest of that which you have sowed, which you have first given yourself. Like Neville said, man always gets what he first gives himself first. So you always get what you first of all sowed within yourself, right? Where you first of all dwelt within. Or what you first of all imaginatively experienced already. That's the seed. It will grow. But the more you try to look at the seed and try, oh, is it growing? Oh, is it growing? The more you focus on this gestation period, the more you're messing it up, you're delaying it. Plant the seeds, test the law, see that it's working, see that when you imagine something, it will come to pass. And then at some point, you no longer need to see if the seed is growing. You planted it, you know it is done, you experience it, you go about your life, and then without even noticing, that manifestation will come into your life. We are a way that for your logical mind is kind of understandable. Like afterwards you say, oh yeah, this would have happened anyway. Oh yeah, like first this happened, then this happened, then this happened. You give credit to the external events, but actually what caused it, we then forget, is still our imaginative activity, is still our internal activity. So that's the quote. It is really powerful, right? Plant seeds all the time, non-physically plant seeds, imagine this, imagine that, assume this, dwell in new feelings, dwell in new moods, dwell in new states, so that your life becomes more and more in harmony to what you actually do want. And don't take your cue from the current appearances, right? They're delayed mirrors of your inner world. So focus on changing your inner world, focus on aligning to your desired end state and go into the wish fulfilled. If you need any help with that, feel free to check out the 2 links that I always provide in the video description and pinned comments. One is simply my free masterclass and also my newsletter. And the second one is, if you would like to work with me, you can apply for a call so that we can see if we are a good fit to work together in my program. And that's it for this quote. I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Bye guys, and always remember, plant new seeds.